to Library Time with Miss James. I am going to read you one of my favorite books as a kid today, and it's called Miss Nelson is Missing. And you may have probably already read this because it's a very popular book. There's actually a few more in the series, I guess you could say, are written by the same author about Miss Nelson. And it is by Allard. It was written back in 1977, so it was real popular when I was a little kid. And I don't know, I hope some of you may have already read it because it's a great book. But we're going to read it today. And it's always a good one to read again and again because it's funny. So Miss Nelson is missing. And James Marshall did the artwork. He is our illustrator. Okay, so the kids in room 207 were misbehaving again. Spitballs stuck to the ceiling. Paper planes whizzed through the air. They were the worst behaved class in the whole school. Now settle down, Miss Nelson said in a sweet voice, but the class would not settle down. They whispered and giggled. And they squirmed and they made faces. Let's see. I know that none of you would ever act that way in class, right? Well, they were even rude during story hour. Oh, that little kid standing on her head. Wow. And they always refuse to do their lessons. Something will have to be done, said Miss Nelson. What's he doing? Trying to picture Miss Nelson instead of doing his work. Oh no. Well, the next morning, Miss Nelson didn't come to school. Wow, yelled the kids. Now we can really act up. And they began to make more spitballs, more paper airplanes. Today, let's just be terrible, they said. Not so fast, hissed an unpleasant voice. Oh no, what's that? A woman in an ugly black dress stood before them. I'm your new teacher, Miss Viola Swamp. And she rapped the desk with her ruler. Where's Miss Nelson? Asked the kids. Never mind that, snapped Miss Swamp. Open those arithmetic books. Miss Nelson's kids did as they were told. So what do you think? Do you think they were a little frightened of Miss Nelson? I think they were going to do what Miss Nelson says, don't you? I hope so. They could see that Miss Swamp was a real witch. She meant business. And right away, she put them to work. Look at her doing all those math problems. And she loaded them down with homework. Also, they got a lot of homework. We'll have no story hour today, said Miss Swamp. Keep your mouth shut, said Miss Swamp. Sit perfectly still, said Miss Swamp. And if you misbehave, you'll be sorry, said Miss Swamp. Ooh. The kids in room 207 had never worked so hard. Days went by. There was no sign of Miss Nelson. Oh, the kids missed Miss Nelson. Look at them looking so sadly out the window. Okay. Maybe we should go try to find her, they said. So some of them went to the police. Detective McSmog was assigned to the case. He listened to their story, and he scratched his chin. He said, I think Miss Nelson is missing. Detective McSmog would not be much help. Oh, gotta show you the picture of him. He stated the obvious, didn't he? Now, other kids went to Miss Nelson's house. The shades were tightly drawn and no one answered the door. In fact, the only person that they did see was the wicked Miss Viola Swamp coming up the street. Oh no! If she sees us, she'll give us more homework. So they got away just in time. What Miss Viola Swamp's doing there around Miss Nelson's house? What do you think? Maybe. Oh, maybe something terrible happened to Miss Nelson. Maybe she was gobbled up by a shark, said one of the kids. But that didn't seem likely. There she is getting eaten by a shark. Maybe Miss Nelson went to Mars, said another kid. But, you know, that didn't seem likely either. Probably not. I don't think so. But where is she? I know! Oh. Sitting around talking about it, exclaimed one know-it-all. Maybe Miss Nelson's car was carried off by a swarm of angry butterflies. But you know what? That was the least likely of all. Really? I don't think so. The kids in room 207 became very discouraged. Do you know what that means? They were worried. They were kind of sad. They were very discouraged. And it seemed that Miss Nelson, she was never going to come back. That's what they were thinking. Look at their little faces. They just look so sad. And they were going to be stuck with Miss Viola Swamp forever. They heard footsteps in the hall. There comes the witch, they whispered. Hello, children, said someone in a very sweet voice. It was Miss Nelson! Ah! Did you miss me? She asked. We certainly did, cried all the kids. Where were you? Well, that's my little secret, said Miss Nelson. How about a story hour? Oh, yes, cried the kids. Miss Nelson noticed that during story hour, no one was rude or silly. And what brought about this lovely change, she asked. Well, that's our little secret, said the kids. Look how sweet they all are being now. Like students should be, right? Well, back at home, Miss Nelson took off her coat and hung it in the closet right next to an ugly black dress. And when it was time for bed, she sang a little song. I'll never tell, she said to herself with a smile. What in the world? What happened? What is it? What do you think happened? Well, there's a black dress. Let's look at all the clues we have on the picture, okay? We got the black dress hanging in her closet. What's that in that box up there? You see it? Wig. And look on her dresser. What is that? Looks like a nose, a fake nose, and eyelashes and eyebrows maybe? So what do you think? That maybe Miss Nelson pretended to be Miss Viola Swamp so that she could teach the kids a lesson. And now they'll appreciate Miss Nelson more and will treat her the way they should as good students and pay attention, not be rude or take advantage of her. So that was a great idea on Miss Nelson's part. P.S. Uh-oh. Who's that? Detective McSmog. He is now working on a new case. He is now looking for Miss Viola Swamp. You think he's gonna find her? Probably not. Isn't that a sweet story? I remember reading this when I was little. I love sharing stories from when I was young with my classes and telling y'all what age I was when I read them and stuff. It's just so neat to remember those things because library time was one of my favorite things of the day. I love to go into the library. And that was always been a dream of mine to become a librarian. I'm so glad I get to read to you. It's fulfilling my dream. So I hope that you are having a great day and I will see you next time. Bye.